Alright, here we go. I figured I'd make this video to kind of show off the shit that I've acquired. And I don't know. I'm just making the damn video, so here it goes. We're going to start off with my three small fighters, I guess you might call them. The first one over here is the Aegis Gladius. It's actually a lot of fun to fly. Like these three, I can fly all three of these so far. As you can see, this one's kind of obviously a fucking like an F-16 or some shit. It's just a fighter. That's it. Like this is the only one I have that's specifically dedicated to that purpose of like dogfighting or whatever. See, even the cockpit's definitely modeled after kind of some sort of a jet fighter. Like if you were to compare it to anything else. I'm not going to jump in every cockpit, but I'm going to show you kind of the ships. Anyways. See, this is one of its, it's got, both wings have the same shit on it, so like it's got the 3 missiles on both sides. They kind of track differently. Like these two right here, they track from with like a radar sort of deal, and this one's a heat-seeking deal, if I remember rightly. They're also the other way around. And that's its laser cannon that's on a gimbal mount, so it turns. And of course, it's got your giant fucking chain gun, which is so fun. Anyways, that's pretty much that. It's quick. It's one of the quicker ones. In fact, I believe that ship is actually quicker than this, which is the Origin JumpWorks 325A, which I don't like so much for dogfighting because I can't. Certain things I want to change on it that I can't quite yet, and so I'm gonna have to wait to do that. Like for instance, these I guess you might call them wing-mounted laser guns. They don't turn, like they're just stuck there. And so in order to get this ship to hit with anything besides its mass driver here on the nose, which is incredibly slow and kind of difficult to hit with, you have to aim the whole damn thing just right, and it's really frustrating to do. But other than that, it's got those missile mounts up there, which are pretty cool. I mean, they're pretty effective as far as the missiles that they carry at killing things. Which this ship you can use for kind of more of an, I guess, an escort role, because it's, you know, it's a bit bigger. I think it's got a bit more range. It's almost as fast, and I think close to as maneuverable as the Gladius. Not quite there, but definitely a very nice one, I guess, from what I've been able to see. And of course it's got this little flip out bed that comes out there, which is cool. And this is the cockpit. I'm not going to bother to get in there, because otherwise I'd spend the next hour doing that, if I did that for every ship. But anyways, yeah. You guys see it's got a big ass engine up there. It's very fast. I mean, look, half the fuselage is a fucking engine, so really kind of cool. Moving along, we have, this is the Mustang Beta. I also have the Mustang Alpha, which came like with the starter pack, and then it's called like a cross chassis upgrade or some shit like that to this, which is pretty much the same damn thing except for one thing. I mean, both ships look exactly the same on the outside pretty much, except for the colors. The only difference, primary difference, being is what happens when you get inside, which is, I'll show you in a second. Kind of like the way you get into this one. It's kind of, aha. See, now in the Mustang Alpha, you look left and like, oh, look, I can get into the cockpit, which is cool. And that's it. That's all you can do with it. But with the beta that we have here, which is more for touring or exploration, as it says in its description, it has a jump engine, and if you look back here, a little living space, which I can only imagine is cramped beyond belief, but better than nothing by far. I mean, look, it's got a sink, it's got a toilet kind of through the shutters you can see, a bed, a wall locker, kind of a seat, I guess, with a little computer screen and shit here. I don't think they're quite done making the wall locker yet. I don't know, because it looks really small in there. But yeah, so that's that. And a lot of stuff in the game is still a little bit buggy, so yeah, you're going to see a little bit of jittering and moving about and kind of moving through shit. But I don't know, I don't really give a shit. But yeah, this is the hangar itself. Is actually, it's called like the Revel in York hangar. There's a couple different ones that you can get. This one came with, I believe, the Starfarer. Or no, not Starfarer, the fucking, oh, what is the name of that ship? In my mind it's the Firefly, but I can't remember what it's called right now. The Freelancer. Anyways, this is the Redeemer right here. It is actually a player designed ship that they made. They had kind of a competition to design your own ship or whatever, and I guess there's like these different teams that came along and submitted. There were some really cool ones. I was looking through kind of like the old gallery of them, and this one won out, so it's pretty sweet. I mean, you can see it's got these two massive turrets that are on the top and the bottom, and kind of like it reminds me a little bit of a Pelican, kind of from a Halo, just a little bit, kind of because its purpose is a gunship or troop transport sort of deal, which you'll see once I open up that bit right there. Like right down here, as soon as you walk in, you've got these 6 seats for, you know, like a squad or a fire team or whatever the hell you want to call it, of dudes with guns. And yeah, those shadows are kind of fucked up. There else my video card's artifacting, and well, I'm gonna cry a little bit when it breaks. But nonetheless, here we go. And this is what I was talking about, more what I was referencing when I was saying it's a bit buggy. Because when you go into here, you'll notice that your head goes right through that piece of roof. Right through. Not even a hesitation. And this is kind of the underbelly turret thing. They haven't made it quite functional yet. I think mostly because it's not flyable. And obviously, you can tell with my hands on the controllers, if you don't get in the seat sometimes just right, it does that. It's weird. But it is worth even noting that this game is still in the alpha stage, and therefore prone to things like that. Prone to different kinds of bugs. But yeah, that's the bottom floor of this thing, I guess. Kind of neat. And you walk up these here stairs, and you walk up into the cockpit. This is a 3-story fucking ship, by the way. Kind of neat. Yeah, you walk in here and makes a shit ton of noise, which I'm pretty sure you can hear on my mic, but I don't know, it's pretty cool. And boom, you're in the cockpit and you have a decent way to see. I think the ship I've got, obviously the ships that are like the fighters have the best, like you can see the most from the cockpit. But and of those, the Mustang's the best. But this one isn't terribly bad. The Freelancer, which is up next, is actually it's pretty terrible as far as what you can and can't see. But anyways, this is the I mean, this is kind of like the living quarters, I guess. I don't know. I don't think I'd want to live on a ship like this, because as far as I can tell, it's only got 2 beds. Unless they like stack up somehow. I don't know how they would. But like you can kind of just boop, jump in, and it just looks miserable down here. I'm like, look at this. I'm like a fucking sardine. And you can get out. And other ships have like like little video screens above the beds. I think I'll show you with the Freelancer for sure. It's kind of neat. It's also got this weird tail section back here that I don't understand. Like maybe that door opens and it turns into a fucking tail gunner thing. Like you can kind of run through it, I guess, and the player just jumps automatically. But yeah, I don't know why it's like this. It just is. Come on, there we go. Oh, it's also got your shower with, look, you even have your fucking conditioner and soap and bullshit, little shaving kit, and your shitter, so you can shit, shower, and shave and eat all within the same 10 feet. Yeah, it seems miserable. Whee! Anyways, that was the Redeemer. Pretty cool. Anyways, on to the Freelancer, which, oh, I opened up the tail section earlier. I was fucking around with some stuff. This is kind of like the commercial for it's like an F-150. Like, it makes you think of an F-150, and it's pretty cool. But I mean, look at this thing. It's fucking armed with teeth. It's for exploration. As I think this is, besides this and the Mustang Beta, and the Aurora, which comes after this, are all like exploration themed ships. Like they're meant to go out and go see what the fuck's out there. So this is a pretty cool ship. I like it. I think it looks really cool. A lot like the Firefly, but kind of more badass. From obviously the show Firefly, which I realize is a Firefly class ship and not actually called the Firefly. I believe it's called the Serenity, which is super cool. But anyways, so now we're aboard. It's kind of cool. You can walk up through the front landing gear. I think, and I don't know, that these two would maybe be used for those two side turrets you saw out there. But then again, close up. There you go. Oh, and you got your toilet here. Oh, if it'll open. There it is. There's your shitter. Anyways, that or else, like, maybe these two guys back here would work. It's meant to be crewed by 4, and it's got these 4 bunks here. Again, this is going to be one of those really cramped, narrow ships, but I guess it's not a huge deal. You kind of, oh, I guess I never went back and kind of sit down here. And this is why I said that I think this one's visibility is the worst out of all the ones that I've got. Because, I mean, look at this. There's giant struts in the middle of it. But it's not really meant to be, like, yeah, exploration. But it's, when you explore, it's more by sensors than, oh, look, let's go see what that is. It's pretty neat, I think. And it's also pretty damn heavily armed for a ship like this. Like, and you can walk out through here, and this is actually an airlock. Because look at that. That's a door up there you can go out of. I'm assuming in space, or maybe even use the dock with other ships. Because there is ship docking capabilities. Not with all the ships. Like the smaller ships, the fighters, no. I don't think there might be on the Redeemer. I haven't seen it though. But this one, I think, yes, for sure. Look at that. Pretty cool. Anyway. And this is the Aurora, which is, I think, the biggest ship. It's classed, like, in the hangar, like, when you're setting it up, you can make it large, small, like, well, no. You have large and small slots, and this takes up a larger one, as well as the Redeemer, which is back there, obviously. But this is, I think, my largest ship. I can't remember the tonnage. But it's pretty huge. Okay, it's got those pretty big monster looking engines. Like, you can't see any armament, but the top, like just this little window here, you can kind of see, and there's another one above it. Like, these big metal plates come down, and these are these 2 monster turrets that pop out of the ship. And yeah, I'm sure that, like, the games, like, ships are all designed to be modular, so you can kind of like change out and do what you please with all of them. So there are, like, just because it doesn't come with pretty decent, you know, a lot of bells and whistles and pointy shooties, doesn't mean that you can't put them on there. These doors are actually for kind of like maneuvering fans I've seen in like the trailer. And none of these multi-crew ships, like the Freelancer, the Redeemer, obviously here the Aurora, can be flown. There's only one that can be so far, and well, two I think. I believe one's called the Avenger, which I don't have and it's not on sale, and one is called the Cutlass, which I do have, but I'm not sure how much I like. I might melt it and turn it into something else. But anyways, underslung here we have the P-51 Merlin. It's this kind of midget fighter. Which you can't really see, but you can kind of look it up if you really want to. It's actually really cool, which I guess you'll have to take my word on it, but whatever. And under here, you can kind of, like, this is the cargo bay, which comes all the way down like this, which is pretty nice. And you can kind of walk in, and you can, you know, make it go back up if you want. We're not going to do that right now. We're going to go in the cool way. Which is pretty neat, I think. And they're also looking at revamping all of, like, the interior of the Aurora right now. It's cool, but it's a little bit, I don't know, sparse looking, which isn't quite what they were going for when they conceptualized it, I guess. I don't know. They're also going to put like a bulkhead between like the sleeping bays and here, like right on them, along this line here to kind of separate it out more. But as you can see, this is obviously a lot wider, a lot more open than normal, than the rest of the ships are, really. Excuse me. But I believe the max crew for this is 6. I mean, obviously you got your 3, you know, like the pilot and his, like, I guess maybe his helmsman and some other stuff here. So these 3 here, which it's kind of cool. Like you really feel like you're, I guess you would feel like you're dangling over the cockpit a little bit, like out in this. Really able to see everything. This is definitely kind of, it's a multifunction ship. I think with a little bit of gearing more towards exploration, but I mean, kind of do what you want with it. And it's pretty huge compared to the rest of them. And this is what I was talking about. We're gonna go into the upper one out. There we go. The turrets I was talking about. So I mean, you can get 3 people in front, and then you can put 2 people on these here turret doohickeys when you need to, which are pretty honking big. Really, I mean, like I can imagine blowing some real shit up with these things. Like I couldn't imagine those little fighters taking much more than a couple hits before they have to bug out or get blown up from those. So I think they'll be pretty effective, but I don't really know, because like I said, you can't fly the damn thing. But I figured pair that with some point defense and maybe some small turrets, or like some gimbaled mounts on the rest of the ship. You've got a pretty effective thing. This reminds me a lot of the Millennium Falcon right here. Kind of like that scene where they're all playing that weird chess game and he has to let Chewbacca win because he'll rip his arm out of his socket. I don't know. I think it's pretty neat. But yeah, and these, like I said, the sleeping bays, the doors open, and it's, I don't know, why the hell not? I never did show you with Starfarer the video screen, so I guess I'll show you with this one. I'm pretty sure a lot of the graphics that they're using right now for the vid, like the, you know, the graphics that are in the game on the little computer screens are all fucking placeholder, but they're still pretty nice, all things considered. But yeah, you can kind of see it's got its little video screen there. I don't know if you can hear it very well, but this guy is wearing a helmet, which once I get out I'll show you, because if I go to third person view in his ship, oh, well, never mind. He's got this helmet on, but I can't show you the front of him because this is what happens when I try and show you the front of him. Which is actually kind of neat, I guess. But anyways, moving along. This is the cargo hold again. You can hold a lot of stuff down there, like a rover or some, some other like supplies and shit like that. Like there's a couple screenshots out right now of it kind of full of brim. It holds quite a bit. Anyways, this is the hatch where you get into the ship that you can't get into right now. The P-51 Merlin that I mentioned earlier. Whee! But yeah, that's the this is the Aurora Andromeda, I believe is the actual name for this specific type of aurora. Or no. This is Constellation, I believe. Constellation Andromeda. And there's other kinds too, like there's the Phoenix and a couple other Constellation class ships that are made for different things like luxury touring and whatnot, which seems silly to me, but I really like exploration, which is actually kind of cool, but yeah. And this is the Cutlass, which I mentioned earlier. I don't like it very much, I think. I think I'm going to... So there's a way you can trade ships in. Although it is pretty cool. It's kind of like almost like a pirate ship, I guess. And, I mean, obviously it's called the Cutlass, and it's got a... I'll show you in a minute. Maybe. Like these cross-saber things up on its wings up on the front here. But anyways, like I said, this is the only multi-crew ship that you can fly right now. Besides some ones that they don't sell anymore. So it's the only one that I can fly, I should say. It's got a pretty decent armament, actually. I mean, this is kind of like a laser, like this big nose-mounted laser gun right here, which is pretty cool. It's got a lot of automatic fire. And then these two big fuckers, I think are rail guns, actually, and they do quite a bit of damage, from what I've been able to see. And then it's got that top-mounted turret, and those are two three-round burst kind of machine guns, which are really, I don't know, I think it's really cool to have that. If I remember right, they're machine guns. I think so. But anyways, it's pretty maneuverable. It's also pretty slow compared to the other ships I can fly right now. Like, I don't know what the unit of measurement for their speed is, but this one goes 180 units. And, like, the Gladius goes, I believe, 240. The Origin JumpWorks 325A rolls out at about 230. And I want to say the Mustang Beta reaches just 200. But anyway, kind of, whoop, up it goes. And it, yeah, as far as multi-crew ships goes, not a lot of amenities. I mean, it's got, where is it? There's its shitter. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. It's not lying. And it's got 2 beds on either side, which I'm not going to jump in. But a lot of cargo room, I guess. And it's kind of like it said, it's not officially a pirate ship, but it's kind of a pirate ship. And that's kind of cool. You can just do that. I think it's pretty neat. And it's got these 2 seats right here, which fold up like flight attendant seats on a, like an airline or something like that. Which seems kind of silly, considering it's a bit of a pirate ship. But nonetheless, I mean, imagine just a couple pirates all badass sitting in these little flight attendant seats like, oh look, you're fucking cool. And there's the turret that I was talking about. Whee! This is kind of the viewpoint you get of it. It's not so bad once you get in the game, but it does, I'll admit, look pretty damn cramped up in here. Well, it's mostly because you kind of get like that display up there helps you track where everything is. It's kind of like Star Wars, where you watch Luke jumping around. He's got that little display in front of him showing where the TIE fighters are coming into his range and whatnot. But anyways, but yeah, this is the kind of the pilot, or well, that's the pilot, I think, co-pilot seat here. Which I'm assuming that the co-pilot would handle things like navigation and then a fight kind of shooting at stuff. But now, it's kind of cool. It moves to the side. But right now, the pilot handles all that. And then you can put a guy in the turret, and that's how it's a multi-crew ship that you can fly. So that's about it. But yeah, kind of neat. I like how the seat moves out into the center of the cockpit when you get out. However, I could imagine that being really difficult, like, say for whatever reason, the guy in the front needs to get out, but the guy in the back is being an asshole and won't move. Like, what's he supposed to do? Kind of screech by the side like that? I don't know. Oh, and there's like the kind of cross saber thing. You can see a little bit of that. Like, it's not officially a pirate ship, but a lot of people in like the forums and shit like that kind of like, okay, yeah, that's a pirate ship. Let's quit lying. What does this button do? I literally have no idea what I just did. I don't know what this button does. Ow! I didn't realize I could do this. This is actually totally new to me. That's kind of... Alright, that's kind of cool. Alright, well I guess we get to see a bit more of this ship than I've even seen so far. What do you mean? Fuse what? Oh, and you can get down that... Oh! Kind of like an escape hatch or something like that. That's kind of fucking awesome. Alright. But yeah, we're gonna jump around on this thing for a while. But anyways, kind of neat. And now you can definitely see that cross saber bit I was talking about here. Arrgh, pirates. But yeah, that's the last ship that I own right now. Probably for quite some time as well. And you can kind of see all these like balconies and shit that are way up there. Like these ones. These ones you can see aren't connected. I'm not going to bother to go up them. It's kind of a waste of time. But I am going to bother to go up on this one over here, which has like the control room. Like this is the central chamber here. So that's the control room up there. This over here is a simulator for going to Marine Commander, which I'll make a different video about later. Which is kind of cool. It's like a dogfighting simulator. And this is kind of like a control panel you can use to, like, look, it's got a list of all my ships here. Like this one, like some of them aren't shown because they're kind of like standalone things. I don't know how it works, but I can fly them. I just don't own them. So like I said, this is the Mustang Beta, and this is the Mustang Alpha. Not a huge difference between the two, except for the fact that the Beta's kind of got that bit under the tail that you can live in. And you can change stuff with them. Like I can take off like this thing's laser guns or whatever, and replace it with like this laser cannon, or that's the sawbuck that I was talking about. It's the 3-round burst kind of machine gun on the Cutlass. So yeah, that's interesting. Moving along, we're gonna go up into the control room. Look, it's kind of, I don't know, the level of detail and like just everything that they've done I think is really astounding. Like you look around, it's not just like the same, like I don't know what you'd call it, skin thing I guess for the terrain. Like some games you'll look out and like, oh look, it all looks exactly the same as far as the ground goes, but you don't really get that effect here. At least not that I've seen so far. Maybe when they get a little bit more of the planets and stuff, you'll look at and see, oh yeah, they kind of fucked that up. But you, like, especially like Halo 1, you look around, it's like the same patch of grass for the next 50 miles, just spread out over an entire planet. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Like when you walk over different, like this is carpet, this is kind of a grippy surface, and this is more like a marble. I don't really know what this is. But your footsteps definitely make those different sounds. And this is kind of like the big control panel doohickey up here. Which I've tried reading that shit on the screen. It's in like, I don't know, some weird language that I don't understand. Maybe, I don't think it's Latin. But it could be. Something real close to it. Maybe more like a South American language. I don't know. It's interlanguage nerd me coming out, I guess. course, if I really was a language nerd, I'd know what the fuck that was, I'm sure. But anyway, maybe Portuguese. So yeah, that's kind of like, I mean, this is the only one with a control room on it, but that's essentially what you can do on all the other ones on the second story. But then you have the third story balconies, which, frustratingly enough, you have to run across the entire hangar to go over and get access to. I mean, there's access in every bay, but just the fact that you kind of don't spend a lot of time down here is a little bit frustrating. Kind of looking like the wood paneling here is not. I don't know. It looks nice, I think. Like all the different surfaces and stuff like that, and the way the shadows and the lights move and shit like that. I think it's all pretty cool. I really do. And it's also really beautiful to fly in the thing, which I'll eventually make another video about. But yeah, it's kind of like a shelf. I don't know where you can see like the glass shelves that are here, but they're there, I promise. This is like the third story, and these are all connected. You can go all the way down in this. So like you can kind of get a kind of cool look at all the ships and shit. And here, actually, I forgot to show you. Can I do it? No, I can't do it anymore. I'll have to do it when I'm flying. You can kind of see the guy's face. He looks like a big doofy bastard. So I guess it's fitting that I'm flying it, but whatever. There's the Redeemer. Another kind of interesting thing that I think was totally unnecessary for them to add, but these gold sculptures actually rotate. They are, in fact, slowly rotating. I think that is pretty cool. Like, just, like, you know, the fan and stuff up there, and I don't know. I think it's all very interesting. But anyways, that's gonna sum up my video.